How are you? Hope all of you are fine and safe at your home. Students, in previous video we have completed the explanation of our poem, poetry number 3, A Tiger in a Zoo. Now today we will do the thinking about the poem. Now first is read the poem again and work in pairs or group to do the following task. The first task is find the words that describe the movements and actions of the tiger in the cage and in the wild. Arrange them in 2 columns. And in second task, find the words that describe the 2 places and arrange them in 2 columns. Now try to share these ideas about how the poet uses words and images to contrast the 2 situations. Now from the first task, in the cage and in the wild. Stalks, few steps of his cage, quiet rage, locked in concrete cell, stalking the length of his cage, ignoring visitors. He hears the last voice stares at the brilliant stars. And in the wild, lurking in shadow, sliding through long grass, snarling around houses, bearing his white fangs, his claws, terrorizing the villagers. Now in the second task, cage and wild. Now cage, the few steps of his cage, locked, concrete cell, behind bars, visitors, patrolling cars. And in wild, shadow, long grass, water hole, plump deer, houses at jungle's edge and village. Question number 2. Notice the use of a word repeated in lines such as these. On pads of velvet quit in his quiet rage, and stares with his brilliant eyes at the brilliant stars. Now what do you think is the effect of this repetition? Now this repetition is a poetic device used by the poet in order to increase the intensity of the tiger's rage and his helpless silence. Velvet quiet refers to the quiet velvet pads of the tiger which cannot run. They can only walk around the limited space in the cage. The use of quiet rage symbolizes the anger and ferocity that is building up inside the tiger as it wants freedom. But the rage is quiet because he is locked in the cage and is helpless. The repetition of quiet has thus brought immense beauty of the poem. Similarly, the use of brilliant for the tiger's eyes as well as the stars also bring out the magnificence of these lines. The tiger stares at the brilliant stars with his brilliant eyes, dreaming about how beautiful his life could have been in forest. In question number 3, students, read the following 2 poems, one about a tiger and the other about a panther. Then discuss, are zoos necessary for the protection or conservation of some species of animals? Are they useful for educating the public, or are these alternatives to zoo? Answer are, several species of wildlife are on the verge of existence. There is a need to protect and conserve these species, which include tigers, lions, etc. Many animals are hunted and poached while they are in the forest. Zoos are artificial habitats that can also develop into good scientific research centers. However, zoos are not the perfect substitute for forest since animals are confined in small cages. As a result, their freedom to move around is restricted. Yes, there are human alternatives to zoos which are wildlife sanctuaries, national parks or bioreserves where animals live in an open but protected environment. They are able to roam around freely, yet they are protected here from hunters and poachers. So students, here we complete our question answer of our poetry third, a tiger in a zoo. So you have to write all the answers in your notebook and learn it.